that was probably the most unique situation I remember for an election in America.
For an election, yeah.
I don't know if things are well publicized enough because, like you said, RFK has literally been almost censored across the board by every major media outlet.
Pretty much.
So I'm not really sure that people even understand how much traction he was getting and what a weird situation this is.
Right.
Where when you were taking grassroots votes, he was winning. He was beating everybody.
Man. He was winning
but
big.
He couldn't get on any debate stages.
That's
They're
right.
suing him left and right, trying to keep him off, get him on. Like there's a lot of fear around what RFK could bring to the table and a lot of weaponizing of different systems to keep him out.
Absolutely right.
So he tried to run as a Democrat. They wouldn't even take him. They boxed him out, which was crazy.
Boxed him out and changed the rules of the primary to box him out.
Yep, and then they wouldn't give him Secret Service protection when his whole family has been murdered, which is crazy. And and he voiced that as well. Like, of all people that should probably get Secret Service protection, don't you think it should be a Kennedy? But okay. And he kept piling through here, and he could have pushed through, and there's even a potential chance that he could have won, or he could have got enough votes to legitimately start a third party in the next election cycle. And people are asking themselves right now, did you sell out? Did you sell out because you want attention, you were going to lose, and your only way to get that attention is with Trump? That's a question that some people have. And then the other question people have on the other side is, are you just so passionate about what you're doing that you were willing to supplant your ego for the benefit of the American public and partner with somebody that historically you don't like? I mean, he has sued Trump. Correct. Historically.
Correct.
He has voiced that he's not a fan of the person.
Correct.
He has voiced that he is a fan of some of the policies, but not the person.
Correct.
So is he a sellout, or is he the ultimate martyr in this situation?
It's a great question. So I'm also gonna link to the article I shared with you in the show notes, because that was a really long article that answered that question exactly from someone who was inside the campaign since the beginning. And I thought it was a really good, in addition to the Tucker Carlson interview, we'll link to that article from somebody who basically answered the question Aaron just asked. Which one is it, right? And I think it's a really good question. Now, the other thing I want to point out to a couple points you made is his Secret Service protection was just pulled again last week because he endorsed Trump. So we're going to go even deeper here, okay? That's number one. And by the way, you would think on the surface, of course it was, he stepped out and he endorsed Trump. Not true. To your point, Aaron, he's still on the ballot. This is a really important fact. He's still on the ballot in 40 states, and he's staying on the ballot in 40 states so that you can still vote for him if you like him as an independent candidate for all the reasons that you and I mentioned right here. Again, really important to point out, he's only stepped off the ballot in 10 battleground states. Those are the states that, if anybody doesn't know what a battleground state is, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, states like that, where it's always really, really close down to thousands of votes, where any third-party candidate could sway it either way. His big concern is, I don't want to sway things toward the current Democrat Party is more like a socialist communist regime right now. Not my opinion. All the data is out. Just listen to the last 5 minutes of this podcast and you'll see the Russia-style tactics. So he stepped away from that and he said, I don't want to risk the chance of us going deeper for another 4 years into that kind of rule. So for now, he's removing himself from those ballots. But he said in his speech, if you want to vote for me, I'm on the ballot in 40 states as an independent. And if I get more than 5% of the votes, I actually have the ability to qualify to start a third party, which is not off the table. So I want to just be clear that he didn't completely quit, step out and say, I'm endorsing Trump. He said, I'm stepping out of 10 states. I'm suspending my campaign, but I'm staying on the ballot for you, the people that like me and want to vote for me and could never see yourself voting for Trump or Kamala. There's a lot of those people, by the way. There's a ton of people that no matter what, they're not voting for Trump, and no matter what, they're not voting for Kamala. I would say that's 30% either way. That's 60% of the population right there.